Alright, YouTube family, it's your boy K-Ray back with a word for the YouTube family. We here today and we are here and we are witnessing the destruction of a nation. We have front row seats to the destruction of a nation. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just look at your government. Anybody tell you otherwise, they don't believe in God. Because he said it. He said in Revelations, when you have ungodly societies, it's going to lead to chaos. God has nothing to do with it. God would have nothing to do with you. He would take his covering and it would separate from you. While you have separated from him. And when you do separate from him, he takes everything that comes with him, which is not poverty, which is not injustice. You know, all these things that God provides for us, we won't have if we choose to live without him. Now I'm talking about the one and only true God. There's so many other people, they believe in other gods. Now in India they believe the cow is God. Also, they have cows in the middle of the streets. Then they believe that the rats is your mother or your father reincarnated. So when you die, you come back and you are a rat. So if you believe that cow is God, you're not believing in the one and true God. And when you look at India, you see poverty running rampant. Poverty, you know, is everywhere. When you want to go get cheap labor, you go where? India. You see, without God, you're not gonna live so well. You're not gonna live well at all. So this is what we do. We live without God, and we think we're gonna live well. We want to accept abortion and live well, and want to use Leviticus when he talks about the census and everything to say that God approves of abortion. That's not true. And then you want to say that homosexuality should be you should marry. They should marry. The man should marry a man. And God didn't make Adam and Steve, he made Adam and Eve. That's simple as that. So if you want to put God on the side, or have him as a side order meal when you want to pray when somebody gets shot, but when it comes to homosexuality, the marriage, you want to vouch for that. But you want to pray when 12 people get shot at a movie theater. That's not putting God first. That's using him when you want to. Using him when it's up to your good, you know, when it's good for you, when you pleasing the people, and you're not gonna always please the people when you're on God's side. Everybody's not on God's side, and if you don't see that already with the way this world is going, then you're lost. You see, poverty is not a sin. To be in poverty is not a sin. You got poor people, but being lazy is a sin. Being a sluggard. The Bible talks about being lazy, being a sluggard. It's all through the Bible. The Bible talks about government. It's all through the Bible. It talks about everything that we can talk about now. Immigration. The Bible talks about this all. You know, if you working and you poor, you poor. You know, you doing what you're doing, you know, okay. But it's a sin to be lazy. So I'm talking about this because the government uses this to oppress the people, to keep them the way they are, to keep you the way you are, the political system. You know, they use this to line their pockets. They use federal regulation, they use trade, which is the stage, setting up the stage for the Antichrist, because trade, you can't do nothing without trade. The trade regulation, you can't do nothing without trade. Federal, you know, the only way you move is by the feds. So it'll come to a point in time where we won't be able to get nothing unless the feds say so. Welfare, housing. Look at this housing. Look what's going on with these people stealing money for housing, putting these lazy folks in these houses who don't want to work, but want to go get free rent, free food. You know, these things right here, God never did mean for this to happen. God meant for you to take care of. God teaches about finances. He teaches you how to do your finances. And then again, he teaches the family how to take care of the family. The church takes care of the church. The church takes care of the church. Family take care of the family. You look after your relatives. You look after them. You make sure they're fed. You make sure that they have all their needs, you know. And then you go to the church. The church take care of, who is the church? I'm the church. You too, family, you the church. We take care of each other. I don't care if you don't know me or not, but we supposed to be taking care of each other. It don't go one way, it goes both ways. You know, I'm not talking about somebody lazy who don't want to do nothing. If you see somebody don't want to do nothing but sit on their butt all day, the Bible say don't help that man. That man is no good. He's no good for nobody. Cast him out. He's no good. But if you poor, you working, and you trying to have something, and you being oppressed by this system that wasn't ordained here by God. See, the government is supposed to be here for justice. But we don't see nothing but injustice now. What's going on nowadays? It's not nothing. It don't have nothing to do with God. They're pushing God more and more. They're pushing God farther and farther away. They're pushing them out of the social sector. They're pushing them out of the schools. I already did that. They pushed them out of the courtrooms. They pushing them out of they pushing them out of everywhere for their own goods, for their own ways. You know, I feel like this. They feel like that. Well, you know what? The way you feel don't mean nothing to God. God makes the plan. God makes the rules. And if you're going by your own rules, then you're going to have your own results. You got your own consequences to pay. You know, Brother Rowe was talking about Ananias and Sapphira when these people was they wasn't putting all that money in like they said they were. They only put a part of it. See, the problem is God gives us things. And it gives us free will to do as we please with it. But he gives us guidelines and rules to live by, which a guideline is to take care of the poor, the widow. And we're not doing these things. So when you do what you want to do with it, which is your free will, then you have the consequences for that. And what is the consequences for that? Well, we see poverty, we see chaos, we see injustice, we see more and more murders. We see this world just destroying. We have a front row seat to the destruction of a nation. Mark my words. Brother Rowe was talking about this not too long ago. We were talking about if my children get called by my name, we will only come. And we, you know, but we already know about what's going to happen because he wrote it in Revelations. And we have in what all I'm saying, all this video is right here is about, is to tell the people, still do what you're supposed to do. God put government here. So I'm not telling you don't vote. I'm telling you to vote. Take the lesser of two evils for the greater of the people. Still do what you have to do. Still be the light. Still be the salt. Still do what you have to do. Don't join into the crowd. Don't bear the mark of the beast. You still do what you have to do. You know, because his government is going to do what they want, what it's going to do no matter what. They have their own agenda. They have their own rules. They have their own gospel to what they want to do, you know. And they blame it on everybody else. But when it all comes down to it, it's sin. It's the devil is involved in all of this. And we're not going to stop there by one speech or one talk on, real talk on YouTube. It's not. You see, it's going to be what it's going to be. So all we need to do is just be children of God. Have faith. Faith and walk in faith, you see, because no matter how you try to change a man, you're not gonna be able to do it. And you gotta remember that. So don't get mad when somebody kick you out or somebody look down on you when you're trying to tell them something. A debate is gonna be, anything can be debatable when you don't have the mind of God. Anything can be debatable when you don't have the mind of God and you don't actually have a true understanding of what God, of who God is. You're gonna always have a different view of how things should be, and that's just what it comes down to. YouTube family, I want everybody out here to go vote, take the lesser of two evils. God talks about immigration. God talks about homosexuals. God talks about all of this is going on now. Go to your Bibles, read it, study it for yourself to show yourself approved. Be blessed and keep on pushing, keep on working, y'all. Peace.